Hi, sons and daughters. It's Arden, Brooke, and Austin coming at you
Hey,
guys
guys.
this week for a special post. We just felt like there was something on our heart that we really wanted to share about and talk about, and that was hopelessness. Like feeling like you're hopeless, and whether that's the circumstance or the situation or just your emotions, anything that you're going through. And we just wanted to open up the conversation and begin just to talk about it and let this know that this is not unusual thing, and this is something that needs to be talked about more.
So when I was thinking about the word hope and where it's found in the Bible, because of course going to the Word is first and foremost what we should be doing when we're walking through something. And I always think of the verse, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick," in Proverbs. And that word deferred actually means to put something on the back burner, and which is such an interesting way to think of it, because I thought of it as hope deferred as in like I don't have any hope, it's gone, or I don't have hope for something specific, but it actually means it's on the back burner of your heart. And then the Lord brought me to a verse in Psalms that talks about how He is our hope. So I'm just going to read that really quick. And it says, "But the eyes of the Lord are on those who fear Him, on those whose hope is in His unfailing love, to deliver them from death and to keep them alive. We wait in hope for the Lord. He is the help and our shield. In Him our hearts rejoice, for we trust in His holy name. May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in You." And I think so often we defer that hope. We defer the hope that our hope's meant to be in the Lord, because we start to place it in our circumstances, we start to place it in our own feelings, we start to place it in people, and that's always going to fall short. And so putting the hope in the Lord on the forefront, taking it off the back burner, I think that that's something that our generation kind of forgets to do.
I think it's great. And just so one very practical thing is your hope should be in the Lord. And something that I learned early on, just like through school and different things that happen, life can just happen to you sometimes, and you have a choice like every moment to either kind of ride a negative wave when that happens, or to be very optimistic and to see it in a different light. And just a simple analogy is it takes months to build a home, but it can take a matter of hours or a matter of minutes to completely destroy it or burn it down. And so your thought life is very similar. It takes a while to build your
really
positive thoughts and to build a hope, but you can quickly spiral down and destroy things in your mind. And so I want to encourage you that there are things in life that are going to happen. The Bible tells us to rejoice when that happens. And it's so counterintuitive, but the reason why we can do that is our hope is found in the Lord, like what Brooke said. His promises are sure. And there's one other thing that I really just, as soon as we were talking about this subject, I wanted to bring up is in Matthew 6, Jesus says, don't take a thought for your life, like for tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't be anxious about tomorrow. And that's something that's so important, and something that I've done some study on, and I know Addison's done some study on, is this idea of fight or flight. But basically, when we're confronted with a challenge, we have some responses we can do. We can either fight it and attack it, or we'll flee from it. And what is so dangerous is if you live for too long kind of in that tension of fight or flight, and you don't allow yourself to relax, you will end up causing a lot of problems, and a lot of depression, a lot of hopelessness can come from prolonged states of that. And so what you have to do is you have to train yourself. I'm not going to allow my mind to go down paths of darkness and go down paths of hopelessness. I'm going to paint a hopeful picture for my life based off of God's word.
That's so good. And I love what you're saying about putting your hope in God, because I love the book of Job, the whole entire book of Job. I love the overall premise of it is the book of Job is not even heaven can shake my faith in heaven. And I love this. It says in Job 13:15, it says, though he slays me, yet I will hope in him. And I love it because all throughout it, you just see his circumstances, all the things that we would oftentimes falsely put our hope in. And all of these things in Job's world just comes crashing down. And even it's God's allowing these things to happen. And then he gets to the point where he's I don't know what to do. And then God comes in, and the last couple verses of the book of Job is so amazing how God just comes in, and he's who do you do you not understand who I am? What do you think I've done? And so I love that idea of just putting your hope in God and understanding look, when you go through things, it's natural. We all go through things, but the problem happens is when you internalize it You don't really
Yep.
speak out about it. You don't really allow yourself to process through those things. You put your hope in God, and a lot of times we can think like we can have this prideful mentality of thinking, you know what, I can deal with it myself. Like I don't need to put my hope in God. I can deal with it myself, and that's when something just gets bigger and bigger. And we don't rely on the things that God has given us. So I think God is always primarily, like when you're going through things, it's primarily always going to be a spiritual thing. Yeah, so just always know, just putting your trust in God, no matter what the circumstances is, no matter if it seems like the entire world is falling apart, or even that God and heaven is shaking your faith upon heaven. Just be as Job was, saying, you know what, it doesn't matter what's going on, I still trust in him no matter what. And so we believe in you guys. If you guys are going through circumstances or things or challenges, we'd love it if you guys reached out to us. You can comment below, and we always are going to respond. We want to hear from you guys. We want to do life together with you guys. So I encourage you guys just to respond below. And
yeah, I think that's great. And so one last thing, it's pretty funny. It started raining on us since we started this video, but I do want to say this one last thing that's always helped me. My parents and people further along me remind me constantly, Austin, you're still in your 20s.
Yeah.
You have a ton of time, and a lot of you watching this, you're probably young. You don't always realize how much time you have, and that's something that I've really struggled with, is I want it all now. But guys, it's a long run. It's a process of what God's doing in your life, and he's going to bring all those promises to pass. So we love you guys. We believe in you. Keep hoping in the Lord and keep being optimistic. I know it sounds dumb, but it's so important to it's so powerful, because no matter what you come up against, you can't be put down, because you choose joy over sorrow or depression or anything else. And so we just wanted to get on here and encourage you guys. You're doing awesome, and we love you, and reach out to us if you need it. So
we love you guys.
Love you
talk
guys.
to you later.